Hey everyone, it's Raleigh, and today I'll be planning my Hobonichi Cousin, doing the weekly plan for October 9th. And I used the Coffee Monsterz Co. Master Artist Large Doodles, and this is the Van Gogh set. I used another one a couple weeks ago and I really liked it. Now, and this week, here it is. This week is going to be a little different. I did record this, was it last Thursday? I normally record like on the weekend and post Sunday. And so I did record this. I just felt like doing this last Thursday, but I didn't really feel like talking. So this is just going to be completely voiceover. But I'll kind of show you what I'm doing as I'm going along. And I decided to use this really good yellow kind of gold that I thought went with the set really nicely. And then I put my normal kind of numbers and dates. And yeah, and I honestly wasn't originally going to post this, but then I thought, you know what, because it's been a bit of an unusual couple weeks and I wasn't sure, but I thought, you know what, let me just put it up, talk over it, and sort of share, because I think everyone goes through this. And in the planner, I'm just marking, because Monday was going to be Thanksgiving, pardon me, and then I was also off on Tuesday. Yeah, so these past kind of month or so, things have been a little unusual and nothing, I mean, barring a health issue with a family member, nothing very serious, just very busy at work. Good stuff going on, but a lot. Short weeks. We had a short week kind of this last week and now this week. I have some family members who aren't doing well, some not so bad, but some not well at all. And my parents are also leaving. We're also leaving on Monday and did leave for Florida for a couple weeks, which is fantastic. However, we did have some concerns. My dad has some kind of health issues that affect his mobility, so there were some concerns around that. So the past few weeks have just been really kind of a bit of a strain. I've been more anxious than normal and just feeling as though getting through every day is a win, which it is. And I'm normally someone who kind of likes to plan things out, and I've gotten a lot better this year in part through planning at sort of, mapping out my week, being aware of how I'm feeling, those kinds of things. But it really has been sort of get through the day, get as much as you can done, without a lot of kind of time around that. So yeah, last Thursday I just been having a bit of a rough day, and this planning really does tend to kind of relax me and calm me. It just gets everything to kind of slow down in my mind. I like the creativity of picking the colors and the designs, and it just really, yeah, it just sort of slows down my mind and lets me, it's like kind of taking deep breaths in a different way. And for this one, I kind of went with the one I went a few weeks ago where I'm just kind of writing in a lot of stuff myself as opposed to using a lot of the text stickers that I usually have. So I just picked some colors that sort of complement the Van Gogh. I also wanted to use Van Gogh because it's one of my favorite sets, so I thought it would be good. And I knew this week was going to be kind of even more challenging, probably the toughest week I was going to be having for a while. And yeah, so just marking off the work here. So yeah, and I'm glad, and I think this turned out well when you guys see it in the end. Honestly, not quite. I don't think quite as good as the last one I did, but I think that does kind of speak to sort of my mind was still a little bit all over the place. But yeah, as I said, each of us has times like this. I'm happy that I really do enjoy this, so I have been consistent with this. This week also was when I sort of changed a little bit how I'm using the daily pages, which I'll actually show you kind of after this bit here. But I like using these. I just like the style of these Master Artist ones, and it just gives it a bit of a different kind of flavor to things. So I'm keeping it a little more minimal. There won't be a lot of, I'll be putting most of the stickers in kind of afterwards, often kind of reflecting my mood. And now knowing what happened this week, unfortunately there were a lot of sort of stressed anxiety in the first day or so. And so here I had just filled in one of the things that's happening, the reason why I'm actually away on Tuesday, which is actually the day that I am recording this. was because I had to have a procedure done at the hospital, and there was a lot of prep I had to do yesterday. And so I kind of, for the most part, had to stick around home. I was able to go to my parents and see them, and they did in fact go. It was a little uncertain, but they did go, and I'm happy for them. A little, I'll be a little tense the next couple of weeks. I just want them to have a good trip and be safe. And then today, which is Tuesday, I had taken today off work as well. My aunt was kind enough to take me, and it actually went quite well. I mean, medical procedures and tests are never fun, but I'm very fortunate. There's a hospital near me. It's a newer one, and I have to say the people there were some of the nicest people. It went as smoothly as it could go. Yeah, I was fortunate to have my aunt to take me, so that all went quite well, which was good. And the rest of this week for work, I know is going to be extremely busy. Again, good things happening, but because last week was a short week as well, it's just a lot. So it's just sort of been the blend of circumstances, which I think does happen in life. You hit these waves of times, but I'm so fortunate with my friends that I have who are incredible, my family, and even work colleagues. I'd actually been in a meeting with some last week and was telling them a little bit about kind of the things that were happening, and got a really nice message from my manager that was very supportive and encouraging, which was great. So I had gone ahead and put in the stickers from the set, which again, I think are beautiful. I'm a fan of all of them. I got all 4 of them, and I'm actually thinking I might, because they're still available, order them again, because I like having one of these every couple months. I think it's just a nice change, and I just happen to like what the sets are themselves. And the colors in this are beautiful, with the golds and the greens and the blues. So I kind of followed a similar look to what I'd done kind of the previous week with these. With these, I like to keep it a little more minimal with the stickers and things. So I think I got all the stickers on there. And little notes or kind of events I'm just putting in, just sort of with kind of a yellow or a whatever color coordinates, with a little notice. And I think here I was trying to remember what it was. Oh, I know, because it was my garbage pickup, which is all delayed. And also because my parents are going to be away, I'm going to be helping to look after their place, which is good. I'm happy to do it for them, but just a few other things to do. So, but I think this came out well. And I think just everyone has those weeks. So this wasn't as kind of smooth as I normally do it. The time wasn't the time I normally did it, but I do have to say I did feel better after doing this, as well as kind of I touched on earlier. I started to use the daily pages in a bit of a different way, as well as I found more was happening. I kind of looked to those a little bit more. But this has worked out well. And work, because it's going to be so busy, I don't normally put in kind of work details unless I'm going away to a meeting, but I've got a lot of very specific meetings I have to get ready and prepare for, and I want to just kind of mark off the time associated with work as well. So here it is with the kind of work piece in there, and now I'm just going to put some sections along the bottom. And then I think and then what I ended up doing was also putting in a Van Gogh quote over on the left-hand side. So this time I decided to go a little simpler with just kind of 3 sections. One of the things I knew I wanted, which I put sometimes, and actually I found it's helpful as I've done it the last few weeks, is to kind of make note of maybe what I want to watch or read. And one of the reasons I wanted to do it is because I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who, and one of my favorite episodes is the Van Gogh episode. I think it's just beautiful. It makes me cry every time. It's wonderful. So I'm definitely going to be putting that. And I think I'm actually probably going to watch that on Wednesday, which will be kind of the end of a very busy few days. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. And I can't remember as I'm watching this back what I did. Oh yeah, I just put like a main. I'm just going to have a few to-dos. I'm not going to overdo it this week because, as I said, it's going to be a week where the days are very, very busy. So in the evening I want to, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to do a lot. However, I do want to do a couple of things, because one of the things I noticed that happened, because I did actually have a bit of sort of down time. We did our big Thanksgiving dinner on Saturday, which was great, but I really had Sunday and to myself, and I was honestly a bit disappointed that I hadn't done more. I'd planned to tidy up a little bit more around my place because that had I'd kept up with basic housekeeping, but I really wanted to tidy up more. And that was just something else that kind of slipped by. So I do want to do a couple things this week, but not a whole ton. And this is just where I put a Van Gogh quote in the side. So yeah, a bit different than the way I normally approach them when I do it. But I think it worked. And really, I do find that it was interesting because as I was sort of looking ahead kind of midweek last week to what this coming week was going to be, I knew that everything happening was starting to kind of get at me in my mind. So I think getting this set up really did kind of help. That's a big thing for me with the planners, is it just sort of gets things out of my head, which again is one of the reasons I started using the daily sections a little bit differently. But yeah, I like the colors in this, and yeah, I think I am actually probably going to be going ahead and ordering another set of these because I do like all the other sets that Coffee Monsterz Co has, and they have great themes, but I really like this as something different, and I'm going to try and throw in some different ones as well. There was, in one of the subscriptions, there was like a kind of space theme that I'm hoping to use, I think in a couple weeks, and then there was a witch one too, which I'll use during the Halloween week, which will be nice as well. Yeah, this was just me marking down to watch the Vincent and the Doctor episode because it really does always make me feel good. So yeah, that's how kind of the week looked. And I think the only other thing I did was I moved kind of one of these stickers because one of them was from this set. The other was from in the bean cards that you get that you can collect, which I've talked about in other videos. The kind of bean sticker samplers that came were with this theme, pardon me, as well. So I had a couple of kind of the same ones. So I think I just moved that one. But yeah, I think this came out nicely. Yeah, and I hope you guys like listening. I know it was a little different, but I'd love to hear your comments too about how kind of if you find the same thing, that planning is a combination of things. It's the creativity of it, but that it also kind of is relaxing. And I think for me, it helps sort my mind a little bit as well. Yeah, so that's kind of how it came out for the week. And I will actually be going in today because it is Tuesday evening now. I got back from my procedure. And so I'll go in and start to fill in a few more details about the day. All right, and as I alluded to, I have started to use the daily a little bit different. Now, I have been very good and consistent about just sort of using it as a kind of what happened during the day and some thoughts. But as I said, as I found things got a little kind of busier over the last few weeks, a lot of different areas of my life had things going on. I found that during the day, it was nice sometimes just to have this space as well, to maybe write a bit more of a to-do list. And I can do that in the weekly, but because things were changing a lot too, and so I just found kind of having that this page open and using it to still continue to kind of journal about the day, but then maybe also putting in like a list or a thought thing, or like the other day I made a more specific list of, I knew I wanted to do some tidying up and what I wanted to focus on. And so it's more like during the day as these thoughts sort of come to me, it just gives me a place to get them down. And so today, Game Tuesday, I decided to actually, just before I edited this, go ahead and kind of lay out my Wednesday. And I thought I would use this washi. I use washi occasionally in my weekly, but I use a lot of just the colored washi, not the themed. And this is another one that came from, I believe, one of the subscription kits. It's kind of a planner-centric one. And I wanted to put this in here because, yeah, tomorrow is going to be a lot of kind of work, which is, not planning, but kind of, similar activities. And yeah, just something a little different. And I picked out this nice kind of blue that goes with it. So I'll just probably just put the header on there, and probably just the today and some washi. And this is kind of what I do sometimes the day before, sometimes the morning of. So we'll see. This is always an evolving thing, but I am kind of proud that I've continued to use kind of the weekly and the daily. And it has been interesting. I mentioned this in another video, that as I look back, I can sort of tell, I mean, obviously by what's written in them, but just sort of how how much I use it in the week, what I put into it. It really does kind of reflect my mood and what's going on in my life as well. So yeah. So I would love to hear. I know this was a little different and a little rambly, but like I said, there was a part of me that thought, you know, let's just not post anything. But then I thought, you know what? I think everyone, like I said, can probably relate to some of the things I've been saying, and not every week's going to be the same, and that's okay. And honestly, recording these videos and posting them is something I enjoy as well. So even though it isn't what I traditionally do exactly, I thought it would still be good to put them up there. So yeah, and then I just sort of put this washi down below, and I think I'll do the today, and that'll probably be it. And then when I wake up tomorrow morning, I will be able to yeah, focus on kind of the specific things I want to be doing and make some notes as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you about the planners you use, or kind of just your thoughts on them. And that's it for now. So I will see you soon. Thanks.